Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I am Sarah Martin with The Contoured Chemist. If you can't tell by looking at me, I am still really tired from the Nashville trip. If you don't know, Seint just had their annual reunion, which is our conference in Nashville, and I am surrounded, sneak peek, with new products. Buckle up. I have a lot to share. A lot of new drops. We're gonna try them all, swatch all the things, and try to make myself look more awake. I'm so excited. Can't wait for you guys to see all these goodies. They drop on Monday. So if you want to check it out, please keep watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for being here, guys. Okay, friends, I'm super excited to share all these goodies. I will be honest, I just got back and haven't had time to, what I would say, fully test everything. I mean, I've tested every product, but not every color of every product because there's a lot. There's a lot, and that's just some of them. I think we have over 20 new things. So let's start with what I would consider the easiest. This is palettes. So if you didn't see, I got to teach about some of the new products. I have been testing some of these. The things I got to announce was new palette drops. So first, do you guys remember this? Who out here was here from the very beginning? This is one of the original mascara palettes and what brings back all the memories, because when I started as an artist, this was like the palette and it was always my favorite. For the first time ever with Seint, we have the marble. And this bad boy is gonna come in all the sizes. I believe back then, this was the largest size. We didn't even have triple deckers. So it goes all the way up to 27, so 4, 8, 12, 18, 27 in our new gold foil marble. Oh my gosh, this is my favorite. So you will be seeing me switch to this one. It's just an OG fave. Now, I've used this for a long time. This was Noir. I feel like, I don't know if mine is just faded or if they made them just a little bit different. I feel like it's more cream now, but by popular demand, they're bringing back Noir and Blanc. I mean, who doesn't love a checkerboard pattern, right? I missed these last time and have been waiting. They will also be in all of the large sizes, but you can finally buy a square. So these two will also be available in the square size, which just holds 2 full-size 10s or 4 eyeshadows. Noir, Blanc. Beautiful. I'm excited for some new palettes. I don't want to say that's boring, but like the boring stuff out of the way. Let's get to some new goodies. I'm first going to prep. So this was, again, one of the products I got to teach on, and this is brand new. This is the Lip Balm. Now, you might be saying, Sarah, you guys have had a lip balm before. This one is very different. So this comes in, oh my gosh, this is why I don't wear nails. I can't get it open. Comes in a glass jar. And I don't know if you'll be able to see on camera. Probably not. Comes real smooth to begin with, right? So this is one of the things I taught on. Ingredients, formulations, all the things. When you get this, don't just do this. Dig in there. You almost have to like break that seal on top, and then it becomes like luxe. At first I was like, this is really thin. It's not. This is a lip balm, but in my opinion, better formulated than the one we had before. We do still have a balm that you can put in the palette. So if you remember, we used to have a peach balm. This one is scented peach. In my opinion, this smells completely different than the other peach. This one smells good. It's a very light scented peach. It smells lovely. and it has an iridescence to it. So it does have mica in it, which is going to give a little bit more of that like shimmer, that natural shimmer on the lips. This is very plant-based. So it has butters like shea butter, oils like, let's see, olive, coconut, sunflower oil. The texture is very lightweight yet occlusive. So this is something you can use overnight. You can use it alone. I feel like the magic in the formulation comes from the esters in this that make it feel like silk, okay? So this is going to fill in lip lines, lip texture. It really smooths the lips and preps it for lip color, especially if you're one that likes our satins on the lips, but they feel too dry. This is gonna be your best friend. So I've been testing this for a while. I would say this is my favorite balm product we've ever had. Now, I'll probably get asked, because I was asked in my presentation, what the difference is between Lip Whip and the lip balm. This has heavier waxes in it and does not have the esters in this that smooth the lip. So this is better for lip texture, giving that smooth finish. And this is gonna be a little bit heavier, more occlusive than this. So this is like, kind of has like that, a formulation so that it is occlusive, yet it feels very lightweight on the lips. Like you'll notice upon using it. And obviously this has mica to give it a little bit of that shimmer, which I feel like just makes more mature lips like mine look a lot better than nothing at all. So this is gonna be sitting out on my vanity from here on out so that I can prep my lips before starting my makeup. Trying to move through these as fast as I can because there are so many. We still have to put on some makeup. I wanted to show you guys, this is one of my most exciting parts of what I got to speak about because I've had this for a while as a gift for artists. We earned it for something, I can't remember. And it was gold and white, and it looks like the 3D brush, but I don't know if you guys saw anyone do sneak peeks. This is the pilot, but now it's in black. And if you don't know, black's my favorite color. Like literally, I would be so excited if they just make everything in black. Be a game changer for me. I don't know what it is. We've also had some like Demi brushes for just artists in black. Something about the black bristles, in my opinion, are superior. They're softer, they don't look dirty, they like pick up the product but then lay it down without them like getting in the brush. So if you are one that's like, oh, I really want just one brush to do my full face, but if you guys are not new here, you probably know I never use the 3D brush. I always use multiple brushes because this brush has always been a little too heavy-handed for my preference of how I like to wear the makeup. And also when I'm troubleshooting with clients, a lot of times when people are using this brush as it was traditionally designed for highlights, they tend to pull and get streaks in their makeup, giving them less coverage. And I just always had to troubleshoot way more with this brush than anything else. So although I've shown you guys how to use it, if that's your preference, it's never been my preference until now. And now we have not 2 brushes, 4. So it has these, oh, they're so good. It has these brushes that I would say probably were designed for eyeshadow. You know, this makes like great like blending brush or under the eyes, because that's not what I've been using them for. If you saw the video Seint posted that I filmed for them, I use this for my full face. So because these brushes are like just too big and pick up too much product for my mature eyes, if you have mature skin like I do, or you like a lighter look to your makeup, you don't want it quite so heavy, because I do feel like the 3D brush was more of a medium to full coverage brush, depending on how you used it. This enables me to keep a light hand where I need to, color correct, press on more where I need it, and allows me to do my full face with one brush. So I have to show you guys how I use it. I've been testing it for weeks, and these bristles are way better, in my opinion, than the ones I had originally had. So I'm super stoked that now that there is a one brush option. I feel like, in my opinion, no matter what look you're going for. So if you don't know how I usually show this brush, I'm gonna show you guys how we do a full face, do at least foundation with just this brush. So let's get into it. Obviously, we have a lot of things to go over, so I'm gonna make this a quick tutorial. But if you don't know, I already have my perfector prepped and ready. This brush, I really don't use much, okay? This is the money right here, okay? We're gonna use the rounded end. It is nice and floofy, meaning it's soft, it's rounded, it's designed so we can buff on that product or press on for more coverage. So just remember, buffing motion for more natural finish, pressing if you're needing to build up coverage. I'm gonna go in with this end with my color corrector. It's a little bit hard to see maybe on camera, but I actually feel like it's easier to see in person how much product you're picking up. And I'm gonna buff on anywhere I need like large areas of color correction. So for me, this is gonna be across my mask area, hyperpigmentation to blur that out, redness, rosacea, pretty much most of my face. Okay, we're gonna buff it, small circles so that I get the least amount of product possible. Okay, so if you do have the original 3D brush and you're switching to this brush, it is softer, so you might find you will have to dip in a little bit more than you might have with the original brushes. Just a heads up, I at least feel like, I think it's a good thing. It picks up less product than the other bristles. So now, since I have a lot of areas that are smaller, that need more detail work, I am going to take off the ends, okay? I'm gonna use the small end first because I need more precision color correction. So I'm gonna pick up, again, my color corrector, and I'm gonna press it on that inside corner where I am the very darkest to get rid of those blue and purple tones. And I'm gonna press on where I need the most coverage, like any dark spots. If you have any blemishes, this is like the perfect detailed brush for that. And just like the fact that this brush just doesn't pinpoint things like that does. It's like, oh, so I'm so excited about this brush. Okay, then I'm gonna use the slightly larger end, again, just tapping into a little bit of product, and this is gonna allow me to, I'm still using my color corrector, but this is going to allow me to feather on even less, so I can really control just a little bit of color correction there without applying too much, because we all know what happens when you apply too much. You get creasing and looking heavy and just aging us where we have the most texture, and that is what I want to avoid. I didn't know how well these brushes would pick up the creams because I was like, at first impression, I thought it would be like designed for eyeshadow, right? But in my opinion, these bristles, it's like they did it on purpose. They're not the same as like our eyeshadow brush. And I do feel like they work amazing for creams. And that was one of the things they told me, is that these bristles were designed for our Seint formulations. Now that doesn't mean once I use it with creams under the eyes, I can't just go into powder, say I wanna go in with an eyeshadow, just keep a brush cleaning tile and just remove excess. And then I went straight in with eyeshadows and it worked like a charm. No residual creams will stay on there if you use that tile. Okay, broken capillaries. And then I can put my rounded end back on there. And now I'm gonna go back in to now my main, and I'm just going to tap and then tap on all over, just so that I can kind of build up coverage, even out my skin tone. And this brush is so soft. I don't know what it is. It must be the difference in bristles, but I'm like obsessed with this end. I feel like it's the closest they've ever done to the end of the blush bronzer. Like, it doesn't feel like the end of the 3D brush that it's always felt like. But you guys will have to let me know what you think once you get to try it, because I feel like this brush is amazing. Okay, once you've applied as much or as little as you want, got a nice even canvas, let's make it 3D, contour it out. So I'm still gonna use this end. You can squish it if you want, but I feel like as long as I just concentrate on getting it on one side of the brush, again, this one's a little bit harder to see because it's black, but once you get a feel for it, you're good. And then I'm just going to press it on exactly like I do with the detail. I do feel like this brush has always gave more of a natural looking contour, not quite as defined as I personally wear it, but you can then go back in with your highlight and kind of chisel out with this more detailed end if that's a look you want. It is the best blending brush. So if you are one that likes to put it like finger paint style all over and just blend it out, you would just use this end to blend it out all over. It's a great blending brush. Tapping to blend. It is really sunny out today, so hard to tell if I'm blended. Around the hairline, under the jaw. Now where the magic happens. Oh. This brush, this little end is my fave. Contouring, detail contouring. This brush is so good. So I'm gonna go into Astoria and contour out the nose. So simple. This little end is perfect. It like reminds me of a more dense, larger end compared to the little end of the eyeshadow brush, yet it's not as large as the smudge brush. Like, it's kind of like Goldilocks. It is perfect, at least for my nose, at me being able to get a line that's not too thick, not too thin. It just makes it easier. And then underneath the lower lip, you can even swap it around, blend it out. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just go in with a brightener since my nose contoured. Small end again, feather between the brows. Okay, and then I haven't blended that yet, don't worry. And then I'm gonna go in with the larger of the two small ends and just feather some brightener. Again, this can really emphasize where you have texture, so you kind of want to just avoid your most textured areas. I like to stay on the side of my nose if I nose contoured, avoid this area, and right on this flat part. You can go a little bit into this inner corner, a little bit into the outer corner if you want to lift. I just say avoid your texture and then just kind of feather it out. Okay, do Cupid's bow, center of the chin, forehead. Anywhere you want to brighten, anywhere you have texture issues, just avoid brightener there. If you have mature skin like me, I'm actually gonna go ahead and perfect. I like to do it right after I highlight, accent brighten, so that way I don't get any creasing around my eyes. I can kind of blur out any harsh lines from my contour. And that way, when I put on my blush, it doesn't remove too much. And I can just control how much blush I want. So I'm finally gonna use this pointed end. And since my beloved powder brush is no more. I found a replacement. Because of the shape of this, you really have to use it on the side. And I always recommend, if you are gonna use this and say you do not have mature under eyes like I do, and you like, it does fit right there. It's a great brightening brush. But just tap and use pressing, stippling motions to blend out. If you pull, it's just going to pull your product, okay? So, touch. So I'm gonna use it in the same way I used to use the powder brush. I'm gonna touch, and then you can knock off excess if you want. Cat hair, surprise, surprise. And then I'm just going to tap underneath the eyes, and it really does work perfectly. So I'm gonna set my under eyes real quick so I don't get any creasing, and anywhere else I need a little bit of powder. Let's finish our face with the next new product. Some of you might have already seen sneak peeks. This is our newest, technically, lip flush. Brand new product called Blackberry. Yes, it looks, oh, did I just skin it? Oh, I did. It looks completely black in the tin. This is another product I taught on. It is a pH adjusting lip product. Now, let me talk a little bit about, I mean, I can't like not talk about the science, which is probably why they picked me to teach about it, because this product can be very deceiving, okay? It looks black in the tin because it has these different iron oxide pigments to give it that depth and that richness, and that's what you're kind of seeing. Now, in the tin, the pH reactive pigment is completely colorless, but then as it goes on the skin, this is why it kind of shows up a little sheer, a little purpley from those rich pigments, but then it will change depending on where you're applying it. So, different parts of your skin, your face, your lips are all gonna have different pHs, and then it also needs water in order for the pH reactivity to work. Okay, so we have obviously hydration in our skin, and then it kind of turns everything from a cool pink to all the way up to a fuchsia pink, depending on the pH and depending on the level of hydration in your skin. So you can kind of see on my finger, it almost looks a little bit more fuchsia. It looks really different when swatched. It's gonna look different on everybody's skin. So I'll put in a few pictures that I kind of showed for my teaching of how different it can look on your lips. It's very buildable. For me, I have very, I call them transparent lips, not a lot of color. So if I just use a little bit on my lips, now I do have balm on my lips, which also will probably add more hydration and kind of change the color. Mine tend to pull not so cool pink, but a little bit more in the purple range. Now it's gonna be different depending on what I'm layering it with. You can definitely put this under or even over other lip and cheeks in your collection, and it's gonna be different every time. It's gonna be different every time you put it on, depending on your skin hydration. So if you have oily skin, it's gonna be darker and more of that fuchsia because the pH is higher. So your skin, sebum production plays a role. Our lips don't have sebum glands, so it's gonna be different on your lips versus your cheeks. The overall natural color tone of your lips are gonna show through because this is more of a sheer formulation. But if you look at swatches, it's gonna look differently swatched versus on. It really is unique because even the humidity in the air, the hydration is going to be different. So I even tried it on my daughter, pulled way warmer on her than it pulled on me. Her lips were pretty dry, so it pulled a lot darker on her lips than it does on me. Just lots of variables, which I find is really fun because it's gonna look different. It is really unique, and that's kind of its whole purpose, is it's gonna give you a different, you know, look to everybody. Now I have had other like clear pH products with the exact same pigment, and the clear ones look very differently than this one does. And that's because it has these other pigments in it to give it that depth. So it's not just gonna be straight cool pink on your lips like a lot of the clear pH adjusting ones do. Iron oxides that give it that depth are actually going to affect the color as well, which is why it can look so dark when you build it up. And then if you look in that picture, then if you want to wipe off that deep purple color, it will actually stain your lips. So that is due to that pH reactive pigment, that red 27. When you take it off, it's gonna leave more of that cool pink color that just that pigment gives. And it does have a staining effect. So it is gonna add to the longevity of the product as well. I found the formulation of this just so interesting because they formulated this completely different than any of our other lip and cheek products. Not just the pH reactivity, but like as a whole, it has a different formulation. It's more of a lip care hybrid. It has all kinds of different film formers for longevity and for that smoothness, for the water resistant skincare type ingredients for like healing, smoothing, soothing, hydration, keeping the hydration in your lips. So it's not just like, oh, it gives a pretty color to the lips, but it also is helping your lips over time as well due to all of the ingredients in it. It's a really just interesting formulation. I was excited I got to share about it. So it gives me a very my lips but better look with just one layer. I can definitely build it up, add a lip liner and get more of a lip look, and then it's gonna give me that stain. I'm obsessed with it on the cheeks. So if you love a glowy look like I do, maybe you love the look of our glossy lip and cheeks, but you're like, Sarah, it's just too sticky. I can feel it. It's tacky. I don't like that. This product has a different type of texture. So it definitely is going to give that glassy look to the skin, but it doesn't feel as sticky and tacky as our glosses do. It's just not as thick. So I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like. I do feel like you might have to apply a little bit more because it's like, it's kind of buildable like your lips, but so you guys can see the color. And me and even my roommate, shout out to Sammy in Nashville, it looks so different on both of us. And we're both very warm undertoned, and it pulled warmer on her and it pulls very cool on me. Obviously, it's a difference in our skin types and all of those things, which I found fascinating from the inner geek in me. So it gives that kind of like stained glass. Again, it will stain a little bit as well. So I found this product to have really great longevity on my cheeks, which I wasn't expecting, but it does have quite a few modern film formers I haven't seen in any of our other products. And that's gonna add to that longevity, even like anti-smudging properties to it. It's just really cool. There you go. That's what the pH Lip Flush looks on me. I'll even insert pictures of on a different day. I feel like it looks about the same today, and I just love the color. Do you see how like glowy it is? But yet it's not the same texture. So hard to explain, but hopefully that wasn't too much information. I just found it such a cool product. And again, swatches don't do it justice because it's gonna look different on you. It's just a fun addition if you have a large collection of lip and cheeks and you wanna switch them up and mix and match and layer like you guys know I like to do. It's a great option. Okay, let's finish up the look. I didn't even apply bronzer. I was like, oh, I look off. I would also use the rounded end for that. Surprise, surprise. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of Bella, a little bit of Xanadu, and just add a little bit of warmth. Now, obviously, if you like to use creams on your eyes, whether it's contour, bronzer, these brushes work really well for that. If you just wanna do all creams really easy, one and done. I have way too many other products to show you guys on the eyes. So I'm just gonna finish up with a little bit of illuminator. I'm just gonna leave it with the pH Lip Flush Blackberry on the cheeks. That was the full pilot brush. I'm excited to see how many ways you guys can use this brush. It is so fantastic. Highly recommend. Anything that comes out in the black, I am going to be very excited about. Without further ado, because I know most of you are probably like, Sarah, just show us the 20 other releases. So many things. I don't even know. I don't know where to start. I'm a little overwhelmed because like I want to try all of these immediately and I haven't had a chance to yet. So, I have used quite a few. They're also good. I don't even know what to pick for today. So we're just gonna wing it. Let's first talk about the pencils and do some eyes and then we'll go to lips. Now, I swatched all of these a while ago. You can probably see, I mean, even in my sweaty arm crack, that one's not, not moving. And I was like going outside taking pictures. Now they're moving a little as I take my hands down them. So what are they? Where should we start? Let's start with the ones that I consider probably best for if you're gonna use them full face or lips, okay? And let me explain. There are 11 pencils, but there are 2 different formulations. As you can tell by looking at them, there's even some colors that are probably real similar. And at first I was really confused. Really confused, but it's because there's 2 different formulations. We have satin and silk are the 2 different kinds of pencils. These satin pencils are creamier, they are more blendable, and they are not budge proof, okay? So let me make that clear. There's gonna be the more wearable shades for the lips, in my opinion, and if you're wanting to take it to the cheeks and even use it like under your blush or as blush. I did use one of these as blush one day and it lasted all day. That being said, these are blendable. The other ones are gonna set. And when I say set, like gonna give you more difficulty removing. Not like that's like a personal preference thing, right? So would you rather have it to be easy to blend? And I do feel like these can be used in multitude of ways, but like knowing the formulation is going to be first and foremost of like where you're going to put on your face. I would not try to use one of these as a blush. They're not going to blend out easily at all. Okay. So let's first start with these satin pencils. Swatch them all for pictures, of course, and now they're going to be too hard to show. We're just going to re-swatch them real quick. In my opinion, my first thought is going to be, these are going to be amazing on the lips for lip color, for, you know, underneath a lip gloss, underneath the balm, underneath the next launch, the gelatos that I'm going to share, for more staying power, more, you know, like of an opaque finish. They definitely are creamier and you can feel it in the texture. So you'll be able to blend it out. So if you like a lip liner that you can easily blend, I would say go with this. A lip liner that will not budge, you're gonna wanna go with the silk formulation, okay? So that's gonna be more like waterproof, long wear formulation. Just do quick swatches so you guys can see. That is the shade Toffee. And it's like a warm brown, somewhere in between like Bubba and Basic. Now, I will also tell you, I wore this on my eyes one day when we were going on a scavenger hunt. It was 95 degrees. We were sweating and running all over creation. This on me and my very oily, very textured, lots of creases in there. It creased on me. Now, I had a friend that wore it, didn't have that issue. So it's gonna be dependent upon your eyelids. If you're one that struggles getting anything to not crease on your eye, I would say steer clear of the satins on your eyes and go with the silk formulation. Okay, I actually did wear one of the silks yesterday as eyeshadow. I got no creasing. So it's just gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be personal preference and each person's gonna be different. There's Toffee, beautiful tone, a cooler tone. And this kind of reminds me of some of the Makeup Forever sticks I've used in the past. So if you're wanting something like that, you can also like throw in your bag, you can contour out your lip, you can maybe add a little contour and blend it out. Use this for a full face, or you like gray, cool based shades for shadow on your eyes, then Pepper is gonna be your jam. This reminds me a little bit more of like in between basic, cafe. Again, these are kind of designed more of like a face stick. If you have seen like the artist color pencils for Makeup Forever are kind of like cult favorites. That tone reminds me of Endless Cacao. That's what I always use to contour out my lips, not anymore. But these Makeup Forever pencils that are designed for full face, eyes, lips, cheeks, the whole thing. And then they just came out with these giant jumbo crayons that do the same thing. That's what I think of when it comes to these, okay? Like the tones, everything, very similar. You can really be your own artist with these, man. Like there's so many ways you can use them. So that was shade Pepper, you can tell, way more cool base. Next is Plum. I don't feel like this is at all like the shade Plum we have in our lip and cheeks, just a heads up. It's really hard for me to like draw on swatches. So definitely more in that blush-like category would make this would be a beautiful eye pencil as well, but lips, I have used this on the lips as like a full lip color and it's beautiful. Then there's Toasted, a little bit more in the reddish family, more pink, not as nude. This one's a little bit more neutral while still giving that kind of like blush effect. Then we have Mulberry, which is literally stunning. Stunning. I would love if this would work as eyeliner on me. This one's very much a berry tone. Gorgeous. And then last but not least, this one has my heart because, believe it or not, my papa, my mom's dad, his first name was Brownie. Yes, his real first name was Brownie. He didn't like it, but this is the shade Brownie. It's brown. And you'll notice all these colors are kind of like latte cafe inspired names. So this is just a beautiful chocolate brown. I'd say not too warm, not too cool. Kind of reminds me of Trust in a way, like just that kind of like everyday brown tone. And this is gorgeous as a lip liner if you like more of a dramatic look and you need to blend it out and just do like the edges. Oh gosh, there's so many ways, guys, we're gonna be able to wear these. I'm so excited. Next are the silks. Now these, I'll be honest, I wore it the first night we got it and I was like, the next morning I was like, I didn't even get off all my eyeliner. Like when I say long wearing, the only thing I can compare this to, because I also wore these yesterday, and I'll insert a picture of what it looks like when I use them as tight liners with no lashes. I still had some in my lashes this morning after an oil cleanse. So I used an oils on my eyes, a normal cleanser. I'm just telling you guys, if you're looking for long wear, this is gonna be the pencil you can use in your waterline. Do not use the satins in your waterline, use the silks. It most resembles to me the like Huda Beauty, these kohl liners that I feel like that's what I use when I tight line or use it in my waterline. And it's harder to get off. Like you're not gonna be able to remove it super easy. I find using the microfiber cloth and a little bit of pressure, even like when I was trying to get off swatches that I was wearing throughout the conference, just a little bit of texture from my cloth could remove it. Whereas if I just used a micellar water or a cleanser, it wasn't enough friction to really get it to move. they're long wearing. So first up we have caramel. This is what I wore yesterday. I wore this one yesterday on my eyes. It's like Bubba in a pencil. Maybe not even quite as warm. Now, the only thing about using this on your eyes is these have less playtime, whereas these satins will be blendable. They don't set as fast. These, I'd say, work one eye at a time, sections at a time. I'll show you when we do an eye look. But this is what I wore yesterday, and it lasted so well on me. But you do have to put it on, and then if you're gonna blend it out, blend it right away. Don't just like put it on both eyes and then go blend one eye and go back. Like it's gonna set. So just a heads up. No joke, long wearing. I'm very excited. Okay, next we have Chai. Again, I don't know why some of these names are exactly the same names as other products we have, but Chai is going to be cool base. This is one that I would say, yeah, it looks like it would make an amazing contour color, but it's not gonna blend easily. So I wouldn't recommend these silks on your face unless, I just wouldn't. I think it's gonna go patchy. So just my personal preference. But this one makes an amazing long wear contour lip color, or again, eyeliner. We're gonna try it in the brows. That's one place I have not tried them yet. So we're gonna experiment. Next is Cappuccino. I don't know why it's so much harder for me to swatch a pencil. That looks so much darker than when I swatched it earlier. Maybe not. So Cappuccino, and you'll see that most of the deepest colors are these long wearing ones because they make great eyeliners. I mean, it makes sense. Cappuccino is very cool. Think like oak, almost like on Trust, oak and Trust, like dark, cool, a little bit cooler than maybe in between oak and coal, actually. So next is Cinnamon. Oh my gosh, it's getting harder and harder for me to do this. This one is gonna be more like cocoa, I'd say. A little bit more of a warmer dark brown. So pretty. And then we have Espresso. This is what I tight lined with yesterday. And it is just like, this is like Trust, I'd say. This one, they do look very similar, but like this was Brownie. Brownie's a little bit warmer than Espresso. Whoops, did I just mark on the wrong one? Can't see. Oh gosh. Anyway, cooler, so more like Trust. Definitely like a cooler brown. And then of course we have Black. And I'm telling you this one, guys, I like messed up the swatch and I went to try to like remove it with like a makeup wipe. I couldn't get it off. So I might have these swatches on me all night. Don't judge me if you see me at my daughter's volleyball game. Straight up Black, okay? Obviously, eyeliner for most of us, unless you have darker skin tone. Obviously, long wear, lip liner, and this is gonna be mostly, I'd say, eye pencils, in my opinion, but I've been using these on the lips when I want like it to stay. Are they not pretty? I think they nailed the tones. Like I was so happy with such great neutrals. Oh my gosh, somehow I skipped my favorite. So there is 6 satins and 7 silks. If I can remember all this. It's gonna take me a while, bear with me. I forgot my favorite one. Somehow I missed it right here. Latte. The only one that has shimmer in it. Now, you guys know I almost cried when they discontinued so many of my like favorite bronzy eyeshadows. Oh, they made it up to me because this is so good. So where can I fully swatch this bad boy where you guys can see? It's like a deep bronzy shimmer. Okay, now the shimmer isn't like in your face crazy. I feel like I was able to line with this and you could still see that depth to it, but like it isn't super shimmery, so it's not like increasing texture, but it's just enough where I can still give that bronzy look, especially under my eyes, and then blend it out. And it didn't budge. while I also wore this while scavenger hunting, and I was shocked. Like, my liner was perfect. I didn't have to set it with anything. I just used this, I blended it out a little bit. Game changer. So I'm gonna put this on again because so far, I haven't used them all, but so far, it's my favorite. All right, I just put the balm over the pH. Oof, I love that combo. That iridescence makes everything look better. Okay, let's go ahead and recreate this eye look. You guys, I just tried it in my brows and I'm like, whoo! If you have about my brow color, I used Cappuccino, which is this one. It's kind of like a dark, cool brown. I don't know if I would necessarily think that like every brow tone is in here, but definitely a possibility. I would pick the silk over the satins. Granted, there's not a lot of good tones, I would say, besides maybe this one. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's gonna take me forever to remember all these numbers. Chai, but I don't know how long wearing that would be in the brows. So I went with a silk, and because I like to just mainly fill in due to how faded my microblading is at this point, I did just use the pencil. Now, this method's not gonna give hair strokes, but then I blended quickly, I might add, with the spoolie and just kind of filled in like I normally do, which is making it really easy. So I'd say it depends on your brows and depends on the look you want. Now, I'm gonna use the angled brush, and obviously you can be a little bit more precise with this. You could even try to get some brow hair like strokes. But man, I'm shocked. That color is perfect for me. I like my brows a little bit cooler, but I do need them to kind of cover up that tattoo. It's like over all these years. It's been a long time. 8 years. It's fading, and I can like see it when my brows aren't filled, and that's like a pet peeve, but right? So good. So if you are one that's like, oh, I can't do that, Sarah, or you only fill in the tail, you might be able to use something like this in the tail, and then just use like a micro pencil just for those front brow hairs, and that could totally work. They did tell us, because these are repel up, repel down. If you don't know what that means you can screw it up and then you can also screw it back down. But to sharpen them, you almost have to like lay it flat in a paper towel and twist in order to get that point again. So they're not like the most precise, you know, pencil, because they are kind of that chunkier style pencil, but it lends to it being able to be used as eyeshadow a lot better. You can use the tip for liner, and then you can kind of turn it to the side to do eyeshadow. So let's go ahead and I grabbed Caramel again. You can kind of tell, like she's getting dull because I've been using her on the side, and I'm gonna have my brush handy so I can blend quickly. I did use the smudge brush for this, so I'm gonna just kind of scribble it on in my crease area and like above my crease, and then I took the flat end and I kind of just like pressed and pulled. So I will say the texture of these are very different. You can almost feel the tackiness, how they like stay put where you put them. So this is why I'm like, ooh, definitely blend quickly, but like that's not saying it doesn't blend. Like it blend really easy if you use a dense brush. But I would not try to blend it with a typical blending brush for powders. It's not, it needs more pressure than that, okay? So, love that. I feel like it is just like a great base color as well. If you like Bubba like me, you're gonna love that shade. And then I did take it a little under my eye, and I do feel like you can also blend with your finger, although on my lids, I need more control than that. I can use my finger on my lower lash line, but like I've got too much loose skin in that region to not use a brush. So that is with only caramel, and you can definitely then go back in, add more. It's not saying you can't use your finger. I just find the brush is easier for me personally. You like a one and done all over the lid, just blend out with your finger. That will last all day. You can totally get it with this look. I wanted to add a little bit color to my lid space. And I was like, let's try it with a powder over it. I haven't done that yet because I do feel like these are gonna give a great base. So I did pick up a satin, and I'm kind of obsessed with this color. This is Plum. So I tried it on just my lid. So I'm gonna use like the side of the brush. These blend out pretty easily, but you'll notice that the texture is just different. So I'm gonna pick up the smudge and kind of just like blend that along the lid space, kind of for a little bit more color. And that way it's gonna have something to adhere to. I'm gonna use a little bit of shimmer over it. My favorite part, as I've already told you guys, where did it go? Guys, all these pencils look the same. I'd say that's the only bad part. I wish, looking upon them, besides that it does say silk or satin pencil, I wish they were almost like one was all shiny, one was all satin, kind of like the boxes. So if you can tell, one is a shiny box, one's a satin box. Makes sense. But as soon as you take it out of the box, I'm like, oh no, they all look the same. And they're like, I can't find what I'm looking for. There's Latte. Okay. Like I said, this is my fave. So I'm gonna grab the etch brush because I love this little smudgy end. And I've used this one so many times already. I'm gonna kind of just run this, if I can get my lashes out of the way, right along the lash line. And when you blend it out, you'll notice it kind of like gets lighter in tone and color. Obviously, that's what happens when you blend. And then you can go back in and add more depth. But I feel like this color is deep enough for me on an everyday eye look. Like, it gives me depth, but you can kind of see the sheen to it. It gives such a beautiful bronzy look. And like I said, I can use it under and then blend it out quickly so it makes it softer for my mature eyes. Oh, is that not pretty? I'm very much obsessed with this color. I haven't even tried it on a full eye, but I'm like, if you're wanting more of a dramatic bronzy eye, I could see this all over the lid. I can see so many possibilities. There will be lots of eye tutorials coming for sure. I've got a newfound creativity unlocked. Okay, so now all I did was take a little bit of powder and I just wanted to press it on there. I feel like it gives such a great, almost tacky, but not quite, just enough of a base that that's gonna adhere even better and be a little bit more longer wearing. And if you, for some reason, are like, oh, I just didn't like the way that blended out, doesn't mean that you can't go in with a powder and kind of blur the edges, blend it out, or lock and load it a little bit more by adding just a touch. Like, that's it. And it's gonna give you even better staying power as well. If that's one of the issues you have with your powder eyeshadows, like if you're grabbing the silks, they're gonna be stay put. Now, I would say when you're removing them, you almost need like something more for an waterproof makeup, or like an oil cleanser, The micellar cleanser took it off the eyes. It was just difficult to remove along the lash line, especially if you wear lashes like me and you can't use oil cleansers around your eyes. You're gonna need a little bit of more texture, meaning like use your microfiber cloth, something like that. So that's my only caveat. They are gonna stay. And that's a good thing in my opinion, especially if you like it along the waterline. You guys are gonna have to try it out. Let me know what you think. Okay, so there you go. There's the final look. We used caramel in the crease, latte along the lash line, cappuccino in the brows, and plum on the lid with a little bit of peppa tapped on. Easy peasy. I'm like, this eye look's gonna last all day. I am very confident in that. Okay, friends, we are in the home stretch. I know this is a lot. We have, how many are there? 9. These are the Lip Gelatos, and they are clicky pens. If you guys, you guys remember when I went through my Tarte Maracuja phase? I still have them all right here in front of me because I love them still. But now we have our own. And there's a lot of great colors. I know they look really bright, but they're very sheer, buildable products. I feel like if you love to be able to throw your lip color in your bag, these are gonna be a game changer. If you saw me posting, I was wearing Dolce. I'll put a picture here. Like, I threw this in my bag, it stayed in my bag the rest of the time, and I literally just would throw it on without a mirror, and I was like, this color is my version of a nude perfection, because it's not too pink, not too warm. I hope this one doesn't sell out first, because it is fantastic. So I did do a swatch picture for you guys so you can see. I do feel like when swatching these kind of products, it's kind of hard because, you know, for one, I have no arm space left. Maybe I can do it here. But they do click up. You just kind of turn, okay? Now, you don't want to like turn them up so far. You cannot repel these down. So once you turn them up, they're up. They are a softer, more like solid gloss type product. They are going to give a lot of shine to the lips. I would say, you know, if you love topping with your lips with a gloss like I do, obviously, this is going to be great over mattes or any other lip product, or just to throw on in your purse. Let the ends of the caps fool you. These colors are a little deceiving because they are so sheer. So I'm just going to do like one swipe so you can see how sheer these can be, because I did a full pigmentation. This is Coco Mero. I don't know if that's how you say it. I think we're just gonna do quick swatches. So this one reminds me of, is it Pinky Promise? It's like this color. This one has a little bit more pigmentation. Cooler pink. Coco Mero is much more of like a light nudie pink in my opinion. You should do more than one. Like a nice nudie pink. I think that one's gonna be really popular as well. Cotton Candy, definitely more of a cool toned light pink. Strawberry, again, more of a sheer pink. Sometimes these things are hard to like how much am I swatching? It depends on how much you click it. More of a warmer, a little bit more warmer peachy pink. So this one, Cotton Candy is gonna be cooler. Strawberry is gonna be a little bit warmer, has a little bit more peach in it. I'd say Coco Mero has a little bit more of a nude finish to it. And then there's Dolce, and this is more of like a more warmer nude. My gosh, I'm obsessed with this color. A little bit darker. I feel like I might have clicked more. Again, swatching these, not a perfect science. It's a little bit, it depends on how much product you get. Product I get up. I'm really excited to try this. I have yet to try this one. This is Sugar Plum. It looks like straight up hot pink, but this is the one. Look, can you guys see? Okay, so in all the swatch videos that they were doing, I was like, oh, which one's that? That looks like Lolly. This reminds me of Lolly. Did you guys ever have Lolly Lip and Cheek? It was more of a sheer pink with like iridescent shimmer, and so many people love it. Yeah, that same shimmer's in this. It's hard to see probably on camera, but 100%. This is the only one that has shimmer in it, and I feel like it's impossible to see on camera, but I promise it's there, and I might have to try that one because I've yet to try it on my lips, because I'll be honest, I just kept pulling each one out of the box and I was like, that looks way too bright. But it's not. It's really not. It's gonna be pretty. Okay, and then we have Melon. I did wear this one and I'm obsessed with this one too. If you like more of corally shades, and I feel like that was a heavy swatch, can definitely go on way more sheer, but that one's gonna be your coral from my coral girls. And then we have Hibiscus, which is the one that looks bright red. Oh, so pretty. Kind of reminds me of Pop. So if you like Pop, these are gonna be really good also if you love the satins, like say you love Scarlet, for example, and you wanna do a bold red lip, but you just wanna like make it glossy. This, and it has so much pigmentation too. You're gonna be able to do a bold lip with just these as well, especially when coupled with some of these pencils as lip liner. Okay, Pomegranate. I wore this one and I was obsessed. Kind of that like winey red. Oh, can't wait for fall. I mean, it's technically kind of fall, maybe. Yeah. And then last but not least, Raspberry, which looks real dark, but, oh wait, just kidding. Let me repeat. Nope, just kidding. This is the one that looks like Royal. Pomegranate looks like Sangria or Saffron, kind of more in that family. This one looks like Royal. This one's gonna be my favorite. It looks so dark. So real deceiving by the ends. It looks real dark, but it's more sheer. So Raspberry reminds me of Royal. Raspberry Royal, okay? If you like that color, I mean, it's one of my favorites all fall. So I tried to do a little bit lighter swatches, you can tell. Gonna be a sheer, glossy formulation, lots of shine. I'm very excited to play with these because, again, if you want more longevity, you can layer one of the pencils underneath. So let's do a lip look, and I just wanted to try this one that looks so scary because I haven't tried it. So this is, gosh, I promise I will learn these names as fast as I can. Sugar Plum. So what would pair with that? First of all, I still have on, you can probably tell my lips got a little bit stained, but taking off that pH lip product is gonna be part of my prep because I'm like, man, I need a stain. My lips don't look quite as transparent, so I'm gonna use a little bit of balm. Because I'm gonna fully line, contour out the lips, the whole nines with this. So first of all, I'm gonna use one that has staying power to contour out my lips. And that means I'm gonna pick up a Silk. That's the wrong one. I'm gonna use Cappuccino. Right. I said that wrong earlier. Chai was not this one. This was Pepper. This one's Chai. I think I said Chai earlier. Chai and Cappuccino are both Silk formulations. One day I'll learn the names. So I'm gonna use Chai. This is the color that reminds me of my beloved Makeup Forever in Endless Cacao. And this is what I've always liked to use to contour out my lip. So you can still blend, just don't wait too long. It makes my lips look so much bigger. What is about having it in a pencil form makes it so easy. Okay, so that is like a cool, just soft shadow to make my lips look bigger. that's Chai. Because this shade is so pink, and I already used Cool, I'm gonna use a little bit of a warmer tone to kind of fill in my lips a little bit, because to be honest, yes, that it's stained a little Cool, which I actually like this look, but just don't want it to pull too pink. So I'm gonna use a Satin. So this is the more blendable, creamy formulation. I'm gonna use shade Toffee, just to kind of nude out. So I use the more long wearing one as liner. You can use the sides. You can fill in the whole thing. Ooh, I actually gave a really pretty nude look. So kind of neutralize it out a little bit with Toffee. That one was one of the Satins. And now I'm gonna fill it in. I can't wait to try so many lip looks with all these. Let's use the Lip Gelato in Sugar Plum. This is the one that's got a little bit of shimmer, and it looks scary. These go on like butter. Little, obviously, buildable too. Oh, that color is so pretty. They feel amazing. Like, that was one of the things I noticed right away, and I was like, the texture. They did so well with textures of these new releases. Like it's tacky, and it like is long wearing when it needs to be. It's blendable when it needs to be. The lip products are very smoothing. Like, from somebody who has lip texture as an issue, very smoothing, line filling, silky, like feels hydrating, cushiony, all the things you could want in a lip product, right? So not so scary. Okay, I will definitely stay tuned. Obviously, there's like, let's be honest, there's like an infinite amount of combinations I can do. So I'm gonna have lip looks for the next 10 years. So there you go. Oh my gosh, I hope that wasn't too overwhelming. I feel like there was no good way for me to share all of the products, because there's just so many, right? So there you go. There is the launch for all of the new goodies. I believe it's like over 20 things. They're gonna be coming to you on Monday. So Monday, the 22nd, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. They're gonna launch on the website. Compacts, brush, Blackberry. I didn't know if I should show you guys this, but it may be a little glimpse of what's to come. This was one of our gifts, and they wanted our feedback. Who all was around during the clutch era? Like, it's been a long time. I've been waiting for one for 5 years. It's a wallet that holds your entire compact. And I almost screamed when I saw this, when they handed it to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, black on black. We've never had a black one, for one. It has like a crossbody chain. They redesigned it to hold more. And I'm like, I mean, can we please just launch this with the Pilot brush? It's perfect. It's stunning. And they said, well, we'll launch them if you guys think your customers would want them. And I'm like, I need it in more colorways. So I love her. So stay tuned. Obviously, I don't know when it could possibly be coming, but you better believe I'm going to tell them, yes, it needs to be launched, because it's beautiful and incredible and stunning. And I've been waiting a really long time for them to bring the clutch back. So there you guys go. Stay tuned. I will be doing lots more videos showing you guys all of the Lip Gelatos, more on the pencils. Obviously, the more I get to experiment and play with them, the more ideas and the more I'll be able to give you guys tips and tricks. But questions, if you have any questions over the lip balm or the Blackberry Lip Flush or the brush. I did a very in-depth presentation on that, so I can answer all your questions regarding those. The more I experiment with some of these bad boys, I will be sharing more reels and photos, and make sure you sign up for my newsletter because all of it will be going out this week. Let me know down in the comments what questions you have over these new releases. Are you guys as excited as I am? What colors are you most attracted to? I'm just super curious what everybody thinks is going to be the favorite. I mean, even these bold ones, I'm like, but then they're sheer. Like, you just don't put as much on. They're freaking fabulous. And as always, if you're needing help with your 3D foundation as well, you want to check out this pilot brush and you've never tried the product before, I will put my color match questionnaire down in the drop box below the video so that I can get you hooked up and you'll be ready for the release date, Monday. I almost said September 22nd. Can you guys tell? I'm still tired from the trip, but man, it's amazing what some makeup can do, right? As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Love you.